good money at NanoString. Okay, so network. So if those sound interesting to you, you should go. Okay. This has been asked of me like 6 times already. When is the exam going to be graded? What am I doing over the next week?
Everything.
With who?
Us.
When am I going to have time to grade anything?
Never.
No, exactly. Don't expect it anytime soon, okay? As soon as Melissa is done taking her exam here in a minute, she's taking it like right now, I will post an answer key. Look at that. Kind of grade yourself. Otherwise, I'll go with the stair method. Did anybody know what the stair method of grading is? I walk up to the top of the stairs and I throw them down the stairs. Whoever gets the furthest gets an A.
Oh.
Okay, so
Okay.
we can do that too.
Let's do it.
Something is going to happen. Otherwise, it's not getting
I'll break
graded
my
for a while.
bones.
All right. Stair method. Hyper and hypotonic solutions. Draw the cells. This was on the exam.
I got 34. How much did you get, Vincent?
34.
Yeah, not bad.
For the what?
Kim.
Oh, I don't want to check it. I don't know, I gotta check it.
Over 50.
Yeah, right? A D.
Out of 50.
Yeah. Or is that an F? No, that's a D. That's a D. That's a D.
That's okay.
You know, that's actually pretty decent for a no chem.
Yeah. No, I'm stoked. But I was gonna.
If you're in a
That's the sad part.
tonic,
The highest
Did
ones you have
more
is
salt
you
on
do
the
curve?
outside
Did you
or
curve?
inside?
yeah.
Okay.
More salt on the outside. Therefore, water will leave. The cell will get smaller. Hypotonic, the cell will get bigger. ISO means same size. Okay, so if your patient is slightly dehydrated, what concentration of saline are you going to put in? Slightly dehydrated. Talk to each other. What's that?
How much saline?
Which one?
Probably like mostly water.
You're inducing very dilute. I think so.
Yeah.
All right,
Something dilutes
slightly
that goes in the cell.
dehydrated. What are we going to do?
Dilutes.
ISO to slightly hypo. If you give them hypertonic, what's going to happen?
Sucks out.
They're going to dehydrate even more. If you give them too hypotonic of a solution, what happens to cells?
Burst.
They burst. So you want to be slightly more to the isotonic side. You want to make just more equal balance. Okay? All right, so talk to each other. What is in blood? What makes up blood? What is the composition of blood?
Plasma and red blood cells, hemoglobin, and what other stuff?
White blood cells, red and
White
white.
blood cells.
Platelets. Oh wait.
Hypertonic is more salty, right? More salty. Hyper is more salt.
Yeah.
Which was in
Maybe I'm kind of worried about the exam.
Which was in the
Yeah.
exam.
The first
So that
one's
would
always
mean-
bad, and then after that it gets better.
Yeah.
I always do shit on the first one.
Like the oxygen one, the runner one, after I was thinking about it logically, I was like, you would have more oxygen before the race because you're not using any, so it'd be A. But I put the other way around.
Yeah, we want something over
Red
like
blood
that.
cells, excellent. We have red blood cells. What do red blood cells do?
Oxygen.
Carry oxygen. Excellent. What else do we have?
White blood cells.
White blood cells. What do they do?
Immunization.
Excellent. What else do we got? Platelets. What do platelets do? Clot. Excellent.
They what?
Clot.
Oh,
Cut
clot, yeah.
yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Platelets are what clot. It's a clotting mechanism. Sarah does not clot. What's a possible explanation?
No fat.
Low platelet count. Okay? Possibly anemia. What else do we got? Plasma. Excellent. What does plasma do? Okay, it has proteins in it. What else does it have in it? What does your cells need to live? Glucose. Excellent. We have sugar in it. We have proteins. We have solutes. Okay.
Nutrients.
What else do we have?
In plasma.
We had just said plasma.
We already said that.
They already say platelets, white blood cell, red blood cell.
We have hematocrit, right? That makes up all of your plasma, so forth. We're getting one of the most important things in blood. Water.
Water.
Excellent. We have water.
Isn't that in plasma?
Sort of, but you're not looking at components of it. It's definitely just water. So, we're gonna ignore this question. I just like the slide.
I have a question.
This is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin attaches oxygen molecules to a heme complex, which is bound by proteins. If we look at the structure of hemoglobin, what do the different colors represent? Different polypeptides. How many subunits do we have here?
Four.
Four subunits. Excellent. Each hemoglobin component has 4 subunits. It comes together to form 8 within there. All right.
Did you redo those calculations? It was so late at night.
it barely. Yeah, and then give him a negative answer. So I'll just keep
About 10 seconds. What I should do is turn this to many choices. What structural level is this? Tertiary?
secondary.
No, it's secondary. Nice job. It's secondary, so therefore it is
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen bonds. Alright.
What is primary structure? NCC. What is secondary structure?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen bonding between the alpha helices and beta sheets. Tertiary structure is
R groups.
R group interactions. Quaternary structure is
Polypeptide interactions.
there we go.
Last quarter was so much better.
So
Last quarter was so much better.
Yeah.
oxygen binds the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin gives up oxygen to the tissues. It goes from source to sink. This is going to be a common trend when we even do plant physiology. Source of something, sink of it is what takes it. Okay? So in plants, the source of sugars is leaves. The sink is the roots. Okay? In oxygen in our body, the source is the environment. The sink is going to be your tissue. It's going to be the mitochondria. Very little of your oxygen actually ever leaves to the tissues. Okay? Majority stays on the heme complexes. The more it gives up, the less likely it wants to give up in the future. Okay? Remember that curve. So we can shift it and change, but it really wants to stay on there. All right, Dr. Chair.
Maintain osmotic.
Oh.
Yeah, I said A.
That's what I said.
But I feel like it could be all. I feel like there's multiple.
I was
Oh,
either
yeah,
between
yeah.
A or D, but I said A.
If you have a low amount of proteins and plasma in your blood, what's going to happen?
Low blood pressure.
Your pressure is going to
Decrease.
lower. We're going to maintain osmotic pressure. What is blood pressure?
Pressure on your tissue.
Pressure of the arteries during what two events?
Pumping.
Pumping and
Retreat.
resting. Excellent. The contraction of the ventricles and the relaxation of the ventricles. So if it's 120 over 80, 120 is when the ventricle is contracting, 80 is when everything is relaxed. If you have low osmotic pressure, your blood pressure is going to be too low. So if Sarah has low plasma levels, what's likely going to happen to her blood pressure? It's going to be low. What are some consequences of low blood pressure? Talking to this is also, I think, an exact question from the exam. I think I even used Sarah.
Blood vessels
Filtrate.
dilate and will filtrate less.
Yeah, that's
The
what-
kidneys will
I think that's what I said.
Yeah, I said something like those. I'm not
Not
sure if
enough
that's right.
pressure for you to make filtrate in your kidneys. I thought kidney failure was high. Or is it both?
Is it both?
If oxygen doesn't get to your brain and blood doesn't work.
And she's asked the same question.
And that's what CPR is. It's literally.
Oh, with
Because I lost
high, is it?
I lost a lot of
High blood pressure.
Well, we have an
High
hour.
blood pressure, low blood pressure.
He's talking about low.
Oh, low.
And they were like, if, you know, you can like any movement, just try hard, you just die.
All right. What are 3 consequences of too low blood pressure?
Die.
You could. Well, let's take that one off the table. Would things filter correctly?
No.
No.
Of course I
Things
got it
won't
right.
filter correctly. What else?
Dude, I thought that was just a guess, but
The oxygen won't get to.
Yeah, we're not going to pump as much oxygen around. We're not
Good
going to
job.
move it from source to sink. Right? So what will be
Kidney
the
failure?
energy levels of Sarah?
Low.
Low. Tired.
Anemic is going to be more tired. Not going to have the same amount of responses, reflexes. The other things going to be slow. What else?
Weak. Well, what did we say?
Oh, weak. Slow, weak. Could have a stroke. You could get blood pooling. Excellent. That is a problem. Antibodies don't get moved around the body. Antibodies don't get moved. They don't get moved. Okay, 10 seconds. I'll give you a hint. 2 of them are incorrect.
Oh, and 2 are correct.
That's two.
Okay, that's 50-50. I would
And
say,
very few people actually got this correct.
say Buffy coat and plasma.
I think it might be.
I said Buffy coat.
And
You did.
plasma. I just said Buffy.
I said erythrocytes, and
See, the other two, I don't know what they are. And I'm pretty sure plasma is just protein stuff, so I was just thinking Buffy coat makes more sense.
Erythrocytes.
erythrocytes are I think white blood.
Yeah, so it's
more
gonna
white
be
blood
erythrocytes.
cells. So
This is also a play on words.
What?
oh, Buffy.
What is what?
Why is
that what
Buffy
it
the
is?
vampire slayer?
This.
That's the immune system.
Oh.
Buffy. And
Erythrocytes.
Honestly.
Oh.
I think erythrocytes in your urine.
It was.
Hematocrit is the concentrations of things. So, it's possible.
I got it right.
But I thought the immune function was in the white red.
No, I mean they fight. I don't think they
I was just thinking based
necessarily
off the
carry.
lab.
I don't think they necessarily carry like immunity like properties. You see.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, Dr.
It's an increase because it's anti-diuretics. You're not losing as much water, so more water stays.
Oh yeah,
in
yeah, more
your
water. Yeah,
blood.
yeah, no.
So
That's what I would think too.
What is ADH?
anti-diuretic hormone.
Antidiuretic hormone. Therefore, if you have more ADH, you're going to
Keep
absorb more water. Therefore, it's going to
Increase volume.
You decide to go out drinking.
Don't drink.
And you decide to be really foolish and take Tylenol while out drinking. Or if you're just sick, you take a whole bunch of NyQuil, which has both alcohol and Tylenol in it. All right, what are the consequences of that? So tell me the truth.
Wait, what?
I think you become very drowsy.
Did you take Tylenol?
All right, so like if you take NyQuil,
Which has got
you
alcohol
get it has alcohol
and
and
Tylenol.
Tylenol in it. And what does NyQuil usually do? Knock you off, knock you on your ass. So I think you just get
Drowsy.
drowsy, like just pass out. Right?
All right, alcohol will do what to your blood volume?
Dehydrate you.
It'll dehydrate you. Excellent.
Yeah.
What does Tylenol do to your blood?
Dehydrate you.
It dehydrates and thins your blood.
Oh yeah.
All right. So now, not only are we dehydrated, but we've thinned our blood. What are some consequences of that? Low blood pressure.
I was gonna say.
What else?
Tea.
You don't feel good. Fatigue. You can bruise easily, and you will suffer from bleeding. Okay. Typically, nosebleeds would be a consequence of that. Okay. All right. Jane's 21st birthday is tomorrow. She's going to Vegas. All right. What do we got to do to maintain we're not going to suffer any bodily consequences? Yes, she's going to drink a bunch. Okay. What do we got to do?
Drink electrolytes.
Hydrate. Excellent. What else?
Eat.
Eat. What we're not going to do?
Drink.
Tylenol. Okay. We were realistic in here. No, we want to not have a hangover. What's a hangover?
Good. I cannot tell
Physiologically,
you,
what's
bro.
a hangover? So talk, sure. What is a hangover?
Well, dehydration.
Bro, I'm 18.
Oh.
Huh?
I'm 18.
Oh, it's
I'm
just,
18. I don't. I
isn't
would-
it? It's like an effect of dehydration of the body. You just get you get a lot of like really bad headaches,
Want a hangover?
and because
go
of
to
that,
Denny's.
Physiologically, what is a hangover?
Al
electrolytes,
menudo.
Pedialyte.
Dehydration. Why does wine give you a really nasty hangover? You're dehydrated plus
Sugar.
Sugar.
And then
sugar
grapes.
is too high. So your body wants to go through glycolysis. What are the steps of glycolysis in Krebs? What do I need?
ATP.
Water. And I'm low on water. So we're going to have, glycolysis is going to have byproducts. We're going to have more lactic acid. We're going to have other components. So you're going to have a buildup of sugar as well as low water. Okay, so the most valuable thing you're learning as you go off to university is
Drink a lot of water.
every time you have a drink, you drink water on top of that. How about am not. No, we're just no antibiotics. All right. We look at these O2 saturation curves. What happens when I exercise? What happens to my blood pH? Goes up or down?
So,
Goes down. My blood becomes more acidic, therefore the pH goes down. As it goes down, the hemoglobin is going to get an oxygen shift, and we're going to release more oxygen. Why is that important when you're exercising?
Because
Tissues need oxygen. More oxygen being expended, more oxygen needed. So here's an extreme exaggeration of the curves. So from super basic to super acidic, your body will never, on a global level, experience this, okay? Now, in tissues, pH changes can be quite dramatic because we're talking very small quantities of fluid. So we could get a very severe change. This is not going to be your aorta or anything like that. But you can see how this pressure curve would change. Regulation of iron metabolism. You need iron, okay? Iron is going to be used in the heme complex. We're going to manufacture most of our red blood cells, so forth, in our bones. We're going to do a lot of processing within the liver. And we're going to try to remove this stuff, but also retain the iron, because iron is a valuable quantity. So if you eat, for instance, some iron, we're going to uptake it in the intestinal tract. Very little iron that you actually eat is uptaken, okay? Very little of any macromolecules or even minerals that you eat actually gets retained. Most of that actually goes through and becomes fecal matter. But those that do gets processed, sent off, and converted into heme complexes. If you are suffering from hepatic or liver disease, you're not going to be able to retain as much iron, and you're going to be okay.
Is that for most of it for drinking? You get liver disease?
That or hepatitis, things like that. So any liver disease. Yeah.
I think I like. I know where I got that from. So I literally just like skipped that, and like this is right because once we times that in the milliliters by the molarity times point.
Oh yeah, you're not going to be able to do it.
And then that goes there.
no, I'm the exponents were the wrong thing.
Is it wrong?
Unless
Yeah,
you're
if you just, that's right. But the exponent, that should be -3.
I see.
Which, I'd say just leave it like that, because it's going to make a negative answer. And she said she's not even going to look at that.
No, it's 4. Divided by 2.
Yeah, because we're leaving here.
0.001499 divided by 2.
Yeah, let me double check what the number is.
2 zeros?
It might be like
Yeah, because you times it by the molarity
Okay.
of the.
Then you
Because I was looking at Ali's, and then I was wondering how I got I just forgot that stoichiometry step right here of the
Oh,
point
wait, erythrocytes are-
100
oh,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
Na2.
Can you look at mine? Or what did I miss?
I thought erythrocytes was
I have no
white blood cell,
idea.
but it's red blood
I
cell.
thought you would miss
And it makes
that,
sense
but-
Erythrocyte is red blood
Okay,
cell?
so
Yeah.
I put zero,
Which makes sense
zero.
because the prefix eryth
It's because
Dot.
you did, it's because
throw.
you did that.
means like red.
So just put the extra zero.
Because
there?
if you say you have there's erythema,
Like that was like
that
the
means
one,
there's like
the
a
one
red
thing that should probably be like,
bruising
how the hell
in your
did you
skin.
get to here from the milliliters
Okay,
of
there.
that? But it was
But everything
just
else correct.
molarity
Okay,
of
we're
the
good.
Na. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, did I get this?
Yes,
0.0. Everything else, I think.
Everything
Yeah.
else looks good. And then our percent error isn't that bad, honestly.
I'm sure other people have
Yeah,
higher.
at least it isn't 100.
Oh, did you upload it?
You did. Yeah.
Is that back right here? Because I can put it in.
Oh no, you're good.
I'm waiting for James.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, hemoglobin.
Oh, that's much better.
I did I just kind of did the questions, and then I just researched about the questions, and then looked at the book a little bit. Like,
Is it
One
about
section.
the is it about the hemoglobin complex and stuff or no?
yeah, I think so. At least that's what I see so far in the first question. Oh, yeah, chapter, it was the 0.41, because the first two sections of it, it
Yeah.
said, you know, the reading questions you'll find over there, but it was more on the
the other
fourth
part?
section. Oh, 42.4. So everything was more towards 42.4.
Did you put it on there? Like what chapter read?
On the review questions, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. He did. Oh, wait, he had 0.1 and 0.2, but then he also had 0.4. But most of it was 0.4. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, blood pressure and elevation.
Just the hemoglobin complex.
Last one.
About the hemoglobin complex. What about the hemoglobin complex? Okay. Hemoglobin.
My mom we're having a conversation about this because she used to be a doctor. She's a pediatrician. I was telling her what I learned in what I learned over here when we were having dinner at like Basil Pho or whatever.
Yeah.
and I showed her like this drawing that I did for like the art, like how oxygen is transported in, and then CO2 is transported out. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I remember there's like the heme complex and everything." I was like, "Damn, you're like 6 years old and you still remember all that shit." Yeah, it's crazy.
We all have to get to that point where it's like,
Yeah, no, I remember.
I don't even remember stuff from the first quarter.
But when you're specialized
Well, I mean,
in something,
I'm sure it just clicks back when you reread it again. I did.
or when you're working in something specialized,
She was a pediatrician,
Yeah.
so I'm sure she had to review that again.
I asked Oliver what
I
It was
don't
from
and he said he got
it was from an apple fritter.
3.43 times 10 to the 6. Which is like probably like 800%.
That's crazy.
Another practice in band that's called baseball. We out of 40 years. Every year. Every year we see.
Was anybody going to finish it?
I was, but I was here.
Yeah, I was going to be just because you said I thought I should go, but then so we have that.
I mean, I'll probably go to the next one like today.
Yeah, I want to go.
It's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's why.
3 hours. Yeah.
What's the next one? What's the biotech? That one, you actually do a job recently for that. Like, the one thing is
We got lab. Do we have lab tomorrow? Bio?
yeah, we have lab this week, but I haven't done it.
I'll come back.
It's the credit thing. Wait.
Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah. Today's Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
I thought today was fucking Monday. Oh, yeah.
Come on, bro. We have lab today. Wednesday.
I mean, I get it. 'Cause, I mean, we just took an exam, and we usually take exams on a Friday.
Yeah.
Even though it is actually. There's some people who say early, there's some people who don't. And some people
Yes, I'm ready.
Oh, are you actually
Are
Mark?
you guys? Are you,
For the which one?
one?
Today? Oh, San Juan. Oh yeah. That'll be good.
It's the whole day. Yeah. I'm still gonna go because it's the day off work, but like.
Yeah, it's different.
But it's, I didn't know. I thought we were leaving at 8 at 6. What was the announcement? It's like 6:30.
6:30 a.m.
Yeah, and we're gonna leave.
Wait, is it this Saturday?
Yeah. Oh, you have to get here at 6:30. We're gonna leave at 7. We're gonna get a Seattle at 8. I was like, yeah, okay, I can still sleep. I normally wake up at that time anyways, but getting here at 6:30, I have to wake up at 5. This is when I wake up for work.
girlfriend went to the something zoo, the Woodland. I wonder if she wanted to go to the San Juan Islands again.
Did she go?
Yeah, went last time when she took a bio. Yeah.
I'm a
She had fun, so I was like, oh.
You can say you have a doctor's stuff. They don't have to say what kind of doctor.
Because do you remember like the time we did? It was like the red card.
Guys, all you say is I have a doctor's note.
I actually really do like the realization.
You should.
I'm trying to think of an excuse. This is unrelated, but I was trying to think of a blue lab yesterday.
And the pictures don't show up on your computer, but they show up on the
Yeah, but like the options are like, because B is like,
Probably because you're on Safari. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, Canvas doesn't like Safari at all.
wait, I swear yesterday
I
the
hate
picture
using Chrome. Not gonna lie.
So I
They might change because it's different.
okay.
Every time you open it, it pulls from a large test bank.
How's it there?
It's
Honestly, it's okay. I haven't been like that bad. Like
3B.
I don't know. Last quarter, I don't know why. I think it was just because like the weather was just like affecting me.
Yeah, like 40.
Way more than
I'm doing better now. Like,
Oh yeah. Sharks still good.
Okay, yeah, I got 40.7 to 50.
Vending machines kill way more people.
Close enough. It's approximately
But
50%.
it will not just
This vending machine will kill somebody.
And,
so the oxygen depends, transport depends on the harvest.
yeah, that macro level. So.
I wouldn't even say that.
Do they go up or down their smart feature as long as it is? Go. Where do they go up? Donate blood.
No, it goes down.
Just for the joke.
Because can you explain why?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you have X amount of oxygen that's coming from your blood, and if you're removing blood,
Oh, you don't need blood. I thought you got blood. Okay, yeah, I got it.
No. So it's down, and then I put down then up because I said to wait a couple of days for the body to adjust. So it adjusts back up. I'm assuming.
Yeah, this is probably.
And then I don't know what this is. Injections of synthetic.
Half my count.
Why? Did you get an injury?
I was and I went to the doctor. Okay, you cannot. You gotta go get a transfusion. And I was so I called the girl that had criticized me. Literally, because I found that and they don't accept blood transfusion.
Oh, they don't? Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah, it doesn't matter that you're like, no, they're like, no, we're not good. So I told her, I was like,
Why don't they accept the blood?
she had an incident for her. She's like, don't worry, nobody will be easier so much.
That is, 2 point, was it like 2.5? Or I don't know.
I think it's
Or it's
like,
like
usually I filter every day.
How much?
2.5. I read somewhere out there. I think it was a book or a thing.
Okay, I said down and up, then receive injections of the synthetic whatever. I said up because apparently it's something that continuously releases blood cells. So you get something like that. So you know,
It'll be definitely.
and then live at high altitude, it's gonna go.
Yeah, I get it.
after a bit.
I don't know about the June. How'd you figure out the
I just looked up what it was, and it says it's primarily produced by the kidneys that plays a core role in blood cell production.
okay.
I don't know. If you actually look at it, it's a really small facility. Yeah.
That gave a stroke for
Yes, Maddox found
Can you get one?
Yes,
Anemia is low low hematocrit count. There's also low iron. That's
the thing stimulates the bone marrow. See, all the doctors are picking up.
Taylor, for physics, do you have any labs? What do you do? The wall.
Yeah, honestly.
Literally?
Yeah, literally. Pro ball. And then you're tracking it on the graph. You're basically writing like a acceleration.
You have to like predict where it's going to land or something? You have to like predict where it's going to land or something?
No, we just put it off on the graph. Yeah. So like this week we're doing force. So we have the pulley system in the cart and it's laid at the end. And then we're like throwing the cart back and letting it come back. So like pulling it and like how much force.
Yeah.
Force and acceleration.
When did the
So we started at the end of class on Wednesday.
you start them?
Yeah.
And then you do like half class?
Yeah.
Then, oh.
How long is your like
Average, you get like 30 to 40 minutes. Then all the class.
so at least it's not like an extra day.
Yeah.
Did you do like a page?
There's not enough time because the lab, like, sometimes
Yeah.
like 6 sections. So like one section can have like 20 questions.
20 questions.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they just mostly have math questions.
There's like questions
Yeah,
on
and then it's like asking you like, oh, like which
you.
graph is close enough to like this graph kind of deal.
Thank you.
Or like what's happening at this specific time for like this graph.
I haven't done math in a while. The last, or I guess the last kind of math type of stuff I did was calculus too.
But Ryan's physics teacher, he's a teacher, and luckily he's nice enough to actually like give us extra time to take out. So every week is every other week.
Sig figs on your
Every
percent
other
error.
week that it's doing
4.
lab is every week. So like I'm still working on my
Four?
lab 3.
No, because remember in which
Oh, that's not
in
bad.
percent error you subtract
Yeah. Rather than having lab, you do the lab.
the actual value by
Oh
and
yeah.
then you turn it into whatever how many figures that is, that's the same.
There's not enough time for that. So luckily he gives us a bit of time right
I have
For it, yeah.
a
That's not
whiteout.
bad.
Thank you. That's like the only thing I was
So
like
like the
looking at.
pre-lab.
Yeah, so it's
last
202,
week was
so-
at night, and then all of like the lab questions are due like end of next week. So
2 weeks. That's not. It's not too bad to be able to do that.
2 weeks. You know, it's so good.
yeah.
That's like maxi.
There's not enough time. Like, to do 2 weeks to turn in the lab for the last part of the week.
So you're forced to do people.
I just like go content procedure and stuff. Yeah.
That's what How did you sit down? Wait, I was picture. Well, it says I think adapt to reduced oxygen levels at high altitude. Increased the body adapts. The body adapts to reduce oxygen levels at high altitude. 5% more red food. I think like there's more blood to like get more oxygen. Yeah. Let's see, let's go. Please let's I guess. At least it gives you the light. Yeah. Yeah, living at high altitude. The first thing that shows up is biotech. All of them were outdoors. I guess it's like
Never goes. Never
You should.
I know, I do that.
Why aren't you? You better be a very good excuse. That's not hair.
And to look further protein because
Like you pick the worst.
not to tell them a protein or something. Whoa. Should I still go then?
Yeah.
I don't.
It's just asking what those
So like, what if I
So like, yeah, so it's a bit of a chat.
You told me that.
Oh, I asked him to stop because like I couldn't do it.
What'd you say?
I said there's more binding sites for the hemoglobin complex 50% of being used in 2 seconds.
They all have different pluses and minuses. Sounds like she's full of bad life choices. You don't want Saturday to have some of them?
So is it a mouth?
We're gonna go to
Multiple times.
multiple times.
I don't know what that is.
You miss out.
Yeah.
We're gonna go hang out. Go water, we're gonna go hang out. If you want to, but that sounds horrible. It's gonna be like 50 degrees out, 50 degrees below water. That sounds horrible.
Go for it. You know what? Go for it. You do that. So you get hypothermia twice as fast. I don't know. It would be the worst one. It's actually 25 degrees faster. You want to take a race? We'll just have a stopwatch of how quickly you can die. You're an adult, right? Do what you want. Do what you want. Now you ask your parents for birthday. You know what? That's usually what I find out from people when they like have their parents. They're like, yeah, I don't. I guess.
All good? Is it 8 number? Is it just 100%? Like,
So we're gonna walk on. Was our, I don't know, today we'll type in this. So I'm gonna bring probably 2 pairs because I'm gonna have one surveying, grass surveying, so we're actually gonna put it in 10 bombs. I'll be wearing my
I didn't hear, but
Jeff was like, let's go.
For the
No, you don't do it. You do
oh,
everything.
the type hole jump.
Type away.
I don't know what.
No, you can't look at it.
You are a literal whatever.
I don't think we're gonna jump out of type hole.
That is what it should
I mean, you can, but I don't know if I don't know if we want to.
I've read it over and over.
I put 100% on there. Because remember on here it says on number 6 in the pulmonary capillation general 100 millimeters per mercury. And then on the graph it's also 100% on the saturation of oxygen in hemoglobin. I'm guessing it's 100% of oxygen that goes into the other tissues. Because that's what they're used for. Their oxygen used to be transported throughout the whole system. The hemoglobin, yeah. So,
because I was just thinking the difference in this.
I don't know. Number 8. Given the answers in 6 and 7. Question number 8.
It was.
That's exciting, but I'm thinking, how can you get
Oh, wait.
It would increase. I think almost 100% it would increase, but I don't know what the number is. Because you're exercising, more of the oxygen is going to go to the tissues, and the less of it's going to go.
I'm like a years. Again.
PO2 represents partial pressure, right?
Blood pressure being elevated a little bit like that can be indicated of pain, anemia, sickness, all kinds of things. So, again, a moment in time your blood pressure being high is not a problem. It's consistent high is the problem. We'll talk about that.
But in the meantime, I'm doing
No, it got 40%. This is the whole final.
It's great.
It's not like I it's ridiculous.
More students. All the same
I just have in the morning.
an arm, 2 legs, a butt.
What, during the field?
Yours is the lamest, okay? Like, you just gotta come up with kinds of better excuses, better stories.
It's normal. It's not normal, but
Is the fetal curve is the fetal curve.
Help us with the categories of number 8.
What's the question?
Given the answers to numbers 6 and 7% of the 2 periods,
Very little.
no, very little. Well, how would you?
Because only a little bit is actually reduced.
Oh, and then when you're exercising more of it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then number 9 is increase.
It's not.
So is it that rest of that 40%, the difference between that 60% and the, or is it just like far significantly less
There we go. They're all based here. Nanoswim's actually
my
really
other
cool.
tissues, I'm thinking like muscle tissues, right?
I'm literally at a
talks
bar watching the Seahawks
do they
and I'm talking to some dude sitting next to me.
Exercising.
And
anaerobic or aerobic exercise?
And I'm like talking, what is happening? At some point, 3 drinks in, we're like, we should partner.
It's going
Our
based
students are like,
off
hell yeah, let's do this, hire my students. And that's how it happens.
7 to
So then, like, his person, the VP, gets in touch with him. I don't know how you know Jeff, but tells me I have to pay him. And I'm like, that is awesome.
How much?
It was literally because we were at a bar having a drink. Yeah. So, network. I will not. Not even 10%. Like, you just are networking, you're doing something, next thing you know, a project comes about, or you get a student hired somewhere. Yeah. Same situation, I was at an event, an art event. I'm not a person, I was at an art event. And the head of Scribe America happened to be there. And I'm hanging out, we're talking about, oh yeah, I sent you some become Scribe America, and we start talking, like, oh, you're that person? I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, well, anytime. And so now it's how this is literally turned into how we do some students play. It's just.
How do you know about students getting
camping field trips, often I send out like you'll notice there's announcements for jobs and stuff. When I send something out, typically with like NanoStream, when they're hiring, they send it to me first. And they're like, we're gonna give your students a week to apply, and then we'll publish it elsewhere. I send it out. What? To the class. I send out announcements all the time, like here's jobs. I do. Wait,
No.
Number 8.
We have a good relationship. I mean, they're like, and I'm like, I don't, so like, they're gonna go like the new professors never do that. Like,
Oh, what does it say for number 9?
How about here? How about 22, 25?
Oh, you did 25.
I do like middle-aged like things like I'm on I will tell you this. I heard we went, so some of you did went to Boeing. Boeing hosted us for a tour and all this, like for the college. That is because that was my friend Pat. Pat is the head VP of design of engineering development, so airplane design. Like he's the person in charge of like the actual design of the plane.
About fully understanding these questions.
And so like we get like the VIP tours, like they show like fancy buses, they give you food, they bring engineers.
Number 10
Whole
right now.
different experience, and you just go like on tour.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Seeing less oxygen
and then
delivery since there's less oxygen.
one of my best buddy Meadows. And this is really
The follow-up question is,
he owns AirTech.
he says, how would this change your answer to
It's
number
a
9?
huge industrial company. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Just get less of
And he
it.
owns AirTech, him and his family. And like he's like my best friend. Like and like I'm learning my bowling. We've been bowling for 20 years now together. So start networking. Go bowling. See, this is actually part of the problem. Women actually have a harder time networking. They don't do the stupid shit men do. Golfing. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Oh, the question? Okay, we're done.
Use it like, but get those networking opportunities, right? I mean, Shit, that's what I do. I'm not joking. Like the amount of weird networking that goes on is actually like impressive. And connections. And the next thing you know, you're meeting with this person, meeting with this person, and then you just start meeting friends. And it's not what it is. You can be the smartest person in the world if you don't talk to people. You explain this to me. But if you're motivated and you're driven and you're smart, oh my God, everybody. And take advantage of those connections. So your job is to take advantage of my connections. You make those connections, and then you become successful, and then you're now my connection. So then I get other people. That's how this works, right? I have a lot of students who are doctors now. Guess when I say, hey, I want to go shadow a doctor, guess what I do?
So it's 11.
I call my friend who's a doctor and say, hey,
I mean,
you remember when I hooked you up? Now you hook this person up, right? So you become successful and you remember me, and then I become your friend. And the cycle continues. Or you just get lucky and run into something.
I keep saying it's higher for
Or
maybe.
Or you could go to the Middle East and marry like a rich man that has oil money. Oil money, guys. Oil money. He'll cheat on you, but oil money.
There's gonna be some problems. I got a big problem.
Yeah.
You're from Greece.
I know.
Yeah. That is gonna be your biggest hang up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got some problems.
It's okay. That's like just like the one thing.
No, here.
I gotta like overcome.
Yeah, that's also a problem. Like this is gonna be.
It's okay.
There's not a lot of risk here. We gotta think about this plan a little bit.
Rick,
I'll think on it. Don't worry.
My ex's dad is the ex. It was a very weird dynamic because I was super poor and she was super, super rich. And so like, we'd probably actually still be together. She went off to med school. She was like, we separated because I was going to grad school and she went to California for medical school. And yeah, that was a weird dynamic. Vancouver, Canada. Yeah. Yeah, lost that song. Yeah. But, no, it was very weird. So, like, I knew she was sort of wealthy. We met at UW, but I didn't quite figure it out. She was a tennis player at UW, so, like, kind of. Yeah. It was actually funny. Like, she was one of my best friends' friend, and Jasper was like, no, I do not like Jasper. I did on her age. She has many houses. Jasper's still my business. I just did the. And so I'm like hanging out, and she's like, let's go to my sister's house for the weekend. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't think you knew it. She goes like, it's a nice car, but like, it's like a Mercedes, but like, it's super nice. I didn't think anything of it. Get up there. Yeah. Huge, giant. So we got and I'm like, oh, don't worry. Everything's good.
So I was thinking it shifts for 12. I was thinking it shifts left.
It does.
It does.
It's oh wait.
He just has more oxygen than the mother.
There's a question about this, right?
$50,000.
Can you explain higher percent? I was thinking the fetus does get more, but I don't understand
They
how
didn't care.
it makes sense that it shifts right.
Totally different, right?
So,
That's what he talked about.
She like smooths it out, so we can't block her
Oh yeah, I guess
Have you ever been to Whistler on like chair two?
That's why they call it pregnancy pain.
Right down the last chair two. That is her house. Yeah. And so
Yeah, I don't know what's so I don't know if it's like a different one because it's called a four shift.
It's the same.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think as long as you annotate that like which one is what. Because how are you gonna have more than 100%?
so much money.
yeah.
That's
But the
why.
dynamic
Isn't the fetus like stealing the
zero
infant flow?
or
You can see this is the fetus, this red one, and then the little
and
fetus
then
down
you
there.
have
Oh, okay, yeah. So even at lower oxygen pressures, fetus can extract oxygen from the mother's blood, even at lower oxygen pressures. And that's why they have a higher affinity to O2. But I'm not sure if the graph we're actually looking at is for affinity. I didn't look at the x-axis for it.
their money. Like, it's not mine.
I just kind of remember the graph and I was like, oh wait.
I did feel like really weird, but she was like,
I'd actually read it.
like she didn't. And she was a very down to earth person. Like, you just look at her. but she was the person that used to advertise and stuff like that. She was a champion taxpayer, so they had her like on the walls and stuff. Now it starts making sense because I guarantee your parents paid millions and millions of dollars to do that. Yeah. Now, actually.
It's like a tiny little thing. It's like, go straight. I'm pretty sure it's like you actually can't hold it. Oh yeah. How are you?
All right. Let's talk about this one for a second. What's going to happen? Same shape, but we're going to move to the right.
Oh, to the right.
Okay. Now, if you are a fetus, fetal hemoglobin is going to move to the
left.
left. All right. So this is going to have higher saturation. This is going to have lower saturation, lower affinity. So this is how you can direct. Sink versus source, right? The source of something, you sink it into it. This will be a sink. This then would be the source, mother, for instance. This is the source. This is the sink, would be the tissues. Okay. So, any questions on the worksheet?
What did you say that bottom one was again?
Exercise.
Oh, exercise. Okay.
So under some conditions, severe exercise can drive VO2s in the tissues down to 20 millimeters of mercury. How this changes your answer to 8? Well, so if we're going to reduce it down in the tissues, that increases the concentration gradient. The source becomes a higher potential than the tissue, so it's going to move more of it into the tissues. That's all we're doing. So your source is going to be the max. Your sink is where it's at. So the more the gradient, the faster it's going to move. Okay? So if you're exercising your muscles and you're heavily working out, and you're exercising, where's the majority of that oxygen going to go? To those tissues. Because that sink is going to be at a higher gradient than the rest. Okay? Any other questions? 10 and 15.
So exercise.
At the summit of Mount Everest, well, this is the same thing. We're just applying a different principle. What happens to your source?
Decreased.
Is decreased. So your tissues are at the same level, but your source is decreased. Therefore, the gradient is going to be less. Less oxygen is going to go into your body. So what happens at altitude? You get oxygen sickness. You don't have enough oxygen. All right? Gradient decreases. Oh, oxygen bars. Anybody go to an oxygen bar before? No, they used to be everywhere.
In Vegas?
They're in Vegas now. They used to be everywhere. Everett Mall used to have one. Dud's Little Mall used to have one. Oxygen bars used to be very, very common everywhere. You would get sniff flavored oxygen, and you'd get a high feeling, and then when you'd walk away, you would didn't feel so good. You felt hungover because your body was used to all that oxygen, and it's now not getting it. If I were to increase the oxygen saturation in this room, what happens to performance?
Increase.
Okay. Performance would. Why don't we do it? Excellent. So let's apply this same principle in reverse. You're poor. You live in a poor community. What do you think the ventilation in that room is going to be?
Dog shit.
It's going to be dog shit. It's going to be terrible. Okay? It's going to be bad ventilation. What's going to happen to the amount of carbon dioxide in the room?
Increase.
It's going to go up. The amount of oxygen is going to decrease. What do you think is going to happen to exam performance?
Shit.
Down. Exam performance goes down. They get funding pulled from them. This is the cycle of poverty. For no fault of their own, their performance is going to be limited based off the environment in which they're in. Okay? Good news, these rooms were built with that in mind. Okay? Now, do you think that's true to high school? No, especially if you go to Marysville, right?
Yep, I was gonna say.
Wow. Yep.
Run that data. I did it. Okay? The schools that in Marysville have been condemned, there are schools that were told to shut down. Okay? Marysville School District is going bankrupt. Okay? Of the schools that are due to be condemned, they have high or low exam performance? Low. Do you think it's the students? Do you think it's socioeconomics? Do you think it's the environment? What do you think it is?
All of them.
All of the above. Right? If you really wanted to make a school perform really, really well, how are you going to do it? Ventilation. Let's just start with ventilation. Higher the ventilation, performance is going to go up. Well, you need more funding for more ventilation. You feed your students, you provide them exercise, you do these things, and performance will increase. You don't have the money. So, why do we have recess? Talk to church. Why do we have recess? We're deviating a lot.
Stretch your legs. Okay, no.
Because if you didn't know that exercise then you're not falling asleep
Oh yeah, exercise gets
And you know why recess exists?
to get your blood flowing because you're sitting all day.
I love it. Totally factually wrong. Teachers' breaks has nothing to do with students.
Oh.
OSHA says that you have to have a certain number of breaks at certain time periods in the day of your work hour. Teachers need a break. It wasn't for the students. Recess was so that it was cheaper. Okay? I can't put you into a different classroom because that costs more money because I need more faculty, more teachers. But if I stick you outside with 2 staff watching 250 students, that's actually really cheap. It's economical.
Give them a whistle.
All right. Give them a whistle, tell them to make everybody do burpees or something, right? So, this is not necessarily for children. We have not designed our schools for children. Yes, recess is wonderful. Yes, it's a win-win, okay? Actually, there are certain countries who have mandated now 15 minutes recess per hour in the classroom. And guess what happens to their test scores and their curriculum? Everything goes up. Okay? So, but do you think that costs more money? Yes. So, this comes back down to the same principles, okay? And why we can tie this into is we're going into nutrition, we're going into health. This has to do with health, right? You want to solve some of these problems if you want to be a doctor. Sorry, a lot of these are social, economic, these are systemic issues in our society. Yeah. Should become politicians, says that. But none of you are lawyers. How many scientists are in Congress? There's a couple. For years there was one. He was an engineer from Cal Poly, and he was the only scientist in the Senate. And everybody listened to him. Now there's a handful of doctors and scientists. I mean, a handful. What? He was an engineer. God, I don't know where he is.
Does anybody listen to the science?
Oh, hell no.
No. Science isn't really hard. This is just a rival.
Dr. Oz is now in charge of shit. That should make me feel
That's
good.
fucking crazy.
There are 2 different types of circulatory systems. There's closed circulatory system and there's open circulatory system. Arthropoda is an example here. This is an open circulatory system. Open means that they do not connect together. That blood can flow into the abdominal cavity, into the tissues. Right? You have a closed circulatory system, meaning that your circulatory system does not exit the system. Okay? It does not go to the abdominal cavities. It does not flow freely. It goes from arteries to capillaries to veins back within the loop. Okay? To maximize surface area, to minimize volume, and to maximize diffusion, we enter the capillaries, which has a huge amount of surface area, and the diameters are very small. Okay? Blood pressure was going to be the highest there. Osmotic pressure is going to be the lowest in the tissues. It's going to move into that direction. Source to sink. So all we're paying attention to is source to sink.
Is that 5 minutes, 2 hours?
Complete in 2 hours? Maybe it's just the opposite.
Right temperature.
I put A, but I was thinking also C maybe.
A. I don't think C makes sense just because if pressure increases, the velocity goes up.
Yeah, I didn't put that in there, but I was thinking about it. Because I was like, I don't know how big the aorta is compared to the capillary surface
So
area.
the aorta is gonna be large because it's only a ventricle that has.
Yeah.
So the left ventricle has 50 walls, so it's able to pump blood at a high speed.
All right. Somebody tell me why A
Yeah,
is
to the
wrong.
aorta, right?
A is wrong.
Sorry.
It is true, but it's wrong.
Sorry.
Oh
The
shit.
diameter is smaller. What would happen if diameter just decreased?
Oh, the pressure's gonna
The pressure should increase, but pressure goes down.
Yeah.
So why?
Oh,
How many capillaries do you think you have?
a bunch.
That makes so much sense.
I wasn't sure because I thought it was saying it was like 2,000 times bigger.
So,
Yeah.
imagine this. You have your garden hose, okay? If I just cap the top of the garden hose, what happens to the pressure?
Increase.
Goes up. But if you have a garden hose that feeds into lots of garden hoses in your garden, what happens to the pressure at each one of those hoses?
Decrease.
Goes down. That's the exact same principle. Okay, yeah, pressure is distributed. It goes down. All right. So we have a closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory systems are not consistent among all taxa. Okay, things have changed. They have evolved. I would like you to come up with a phylogeny based off of this. Yes, phylogeny.
Come on.
What is that?
Come on.
Yeah. Like A is basal. Or A is
Yeah, or the outside. And then
Wait, no, that's gills. Wait, no, yeah. Because A is even in the gills.
oh, look at the number of chambers.
Yeah, that's why.
The 3 right ones have the 4 chambers, and then
3, and
those other ones have like
3, and then 2 at the very left.
3. Yeah. So I figured those 3 over there are closely related to each other. I can't tell. The ones to the right are closely related to each other, I think. The differences are there's the chambers, and there's also the circulatory and
Last two.
oh wait, this one the middle right one has the supra the vena cava and then the pulmonary arteries. So that's one's for humans, and then those to the right are kind of similar. And then those to the left they don't have the same looking chambers as this, or as the little right one.
Are those two the most closely related to each other?
Maybe.
Yeah, kind of. Well, these are basically the same, right? Those are the same.
Yeah.
So we're looking at these, right?
Yeah.
So those are very similar. Then this is a little bit further out, right? So we're going to be like that.
Oh wait, how do you even? Boom. What do you wait? Is it? Like that? Oh. Oh yeah.
Basically all three, because it's simple.
Wait, so like this?
Next question.
I'm just gonna put that. Well, I didn't answer.
Guys, please. I think that's what Google said.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, bro.
It's the right ventricle. Right ventricle should.
10 seconds.
That's true. That's perfect.
Blood enters into the heart in what?
Right atrium.
Vena cava to the right.
Right atrium.
Atria, excellent. Atria receives blood. Ventricle pumps blood. So in the pulmonary circuit, we're going to what? The lungs. Excellent. So we're going from the right atria to the right ventricle to the lungs. Okay. If we go from the left atria, which receives blood from pulmonary veins, we're coming back to the heart, into the left atria, to the left ventricle, to the body, through the aorta. Okay, so let's go through this so we understand. All right. We're going to start as a blood cell leaves the lungs. It's going to go into the pulmonary veins to the left atria. From the left atria to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle out to the aorta, to the body. Goes to the capillaries, to your toe. Goes back through the veins to receive by the vena cava. From the vena cava, it goes into the right
Atrium.
From the right atria to the
Right ventricle.
right ventricle. From the right ventricle to the
Pulmonary
circuit, to the pulmonary arteries, to the capillaries of the lungs, back through the veins to the pulmonary veins, which enters into the right the left atria to the left ventricle, to the aorta, to your finger, to the capillaries of your finger, to the capillaries of to the veins, from the veins back to the atria, to the vena cava. Vena cava, so the best way to remember the vena cava is it is the cheerleader of the heart. So when you look at it, and you're never going to forget this, by the way, when you look at the how it lines up in the heart, it's the cheerleader vena cava. And it receives the blood. No one's ever going to, I've never wrote that down. It's how I learned it, it's how you're going to learn it. You're never going to fucking forget that. No. I do it one time a year, that was it.
No, I don't think Mars phone caught that.
Alright, so the blood is received by the cheerleader of the heart, the cava. It goes to the right atrium, to the right ventricle, to the pulmonary circuit, back to the left atria to left ventricle to the aorta, back around. All right. So blood cells are just zipping around your body in a continuous circuit.
So basically, it goes
Yeah. Goes through. So this is the cheerleader to the atria, to the ventricle, to the pulmonary circuit, to the lungs, back to the pulmonary veins, to the atria, ventricle, artery, out.
When does blood come in through the superior vena cava? When does it come in?
When it comes by direction of the body. If blood's coming from the top, comes to the bottom, comes to the bottom. Your aorta is right here, so your aorta runs up to your, from here down to your groin area where it splits into your legs, and it goes to your head. So if we wanted to take your blood pressure correctly, we would use a blood pressure cuff around your neck. We should. You only ever have to take it one time. It's fine.
That's funny.
It'd be very accurate once.
Mainly because you're choking.
We got one. In lab, you're going to cut, if you haven't done it already, you're going to cut the heart in half. And when you open it up, you will see all the connective tissues. There's lots of tendons in there. There's also valves. Those valves, they're the semilunar and the lunar valves. They prevent backflow. Because the last thing you want to do is when that ventricle contracts, is it push blood back into the atrium. Because it's mixing of blood. It's going in the wrong direction. That is a heart murmur. Okay, heart murmurs are when you get the mixing of blood in the wrong direction. So typically today, if it's a minor heart murmur, it's not usually such a big deal. You might even grow out of it. Self-repair itself. If not, you just have to repair it. You also notice that the actual heart itself is really big in tissue compared to the holes of the atria and the ventricles. The amount of volume is just, it needs a large contraction. It takes a lot of muscle strength to be able to do that contraction. Water itself is not compressible. So when you contract it, it has to be able to push it through the system. That's a lot of viscosity, a lot of movement. You will also notice that there is a large amount of capillaries and on the heart. Those are powering the heart. Okay, the heart is a giant muscle. And so often they are very, very small. If you are to have a blood clot, where will those clots form?
yourselves.
Talk to each other. Where do they form?
Where are they going to form?
They form in the veins typically, and they become a problem in the capillaries. Because how big are capillaries? There we go. So if I block one of those capillaries, I remove blood flow to the heart. Because typically those capillaries are going to have problems. So you can get a blood clot anywhere in your body. So if you're on sitting a long time, you can get blood clots in your legs. That in itself is not the problem. The problem is when you get up and you move around, where does that blood clot go?
To the veins.
To the
To the heart and to the lungs typically. And when you get to the lungs, it's called a pulmonary embolism. When the blood clot goes to the heart, that's going to be a heart attack, myocardial infarction. Okay, so if you ever, or if you know anybody who, majority of us in here may have a heart attack at some point in our lives. We're Americans, damn it. Okay?
What's the percentage?
Heart attacks are blockages in the heart. When that occurs, the tissue becomes necrotic. It starts dying. Parts of your heart dies. Okay? The muscle becomes weaker. The heart's not able to do as much activity. It becomes a problem. How we fix blockages is we put stents in. Stents are wire mesh that opens up the capillaries. They're very, very, very tiny. We enter through your thigh. Okay? They enter through the groin. That's a large one direction back to the heart. So they'll stick a robotic tube basically up there. They'll remove some of the plaque or the clot, whatever it is, and they'll insert a stent so it'll open up. And so those muscles, because your arteries and your veins are muscles, aren't going to collapse because now that tissue is weakened. It's necrotic. So it's going to collapse down. So this is why you have to be very careful with heart attacks. If you get a clot in your brain, that is a stroke. Okay. All right. So when you look at tomorrow, you will see all that too. So you inhale O2. That is your source. We're going to go to the tissues. That's going to be our sink. So we enter. So let's look at an air molecule. The air molecule is going to enter into your lungs. It's going to go through the membrane into the capillaries into the pulmonary circuit. It's going to bind to a red blood cell that's on its way back to the heart to the pulmonary veins. It's going to go into the left atria, to the left ventricle, back out to the body, to the sink. Wherever that oxygen molecule is going to get donated, then going to go through the membrane of that cell into another membrane, which is going to go into the mitochondria, which is going to have the lowest PO2. The lowest partial pressure of oxygen is the mitochondria. It's just going to absorb that oxygen in the electron transport chain. What does that oxygen turn into? Water. Okay? That oxygen is going to go into water. That blood cell is going to return back to the heart and do the cycle again. The carbon dioxide that is produced during the Krebs cycle, the 2 carbon dioxides in the Krebs per pyruvate plus the 1 in linkage, so 6 total carbon dioxides per glucose, is going to go into the water of the blood in carbonic acid, which is going to go through the pulmonary circuit, out, and come out of the membranes because the air is the sink. It has the lowest amount of CO2. Okay? Where are we at? This is one of those things you just kind of got to press, unfortunately.
I did both A and B.
I just said A because that's what you said, but I'm thinking
It's not B because that's capillary.
Allow for,
it just
the
makes
capillaries.
more sense to me because just if it's large, it's not gonna have that much pressure, and then it makes sense.
Where is the blood pressure the highest in your body?
Arteries.
Which is the biggest artery is the
Aorta.
aorta. So the blood pressure is the highest in your whole body in the aorta. That's why you want to measure right here, because that's the closest aorta to your heart. All right. So you can take the blood pressure home and come and do that. Kidding.
Jesus.
All right. So we know this one's incorrect because it's the highest. Okay. Does any gas exchange happen in aortas? No. These are huge muscles, thick membranes. So B is incorrect. They expand and fill and coil. They are a muscle. So A is correct.
Oh, I picked the wrong one. Come on, Ricky. God. My mind is automatically keep going.
Velocity, that's speed. Sorry.
I'm just trying to get this pretty loud.
No, I think
It's going down.
We had it on the week.
but that's when it comes back to the heart rate. I feel like the heart would pump after it pumps out into
All right.
the aorta.
What part of the heart is the largest and strongest?
Aorta.
Aorta.
No.
Oh.
The heart.
Oh, part of the heart.
Those are arteries and veins that you guys just talked about. What's the largest part of the heart?
Oh,
Left ventricle. The left ventricle is the largest muscle. It's thick. It's a big muscle. It's
pump
going
it
to
to the
contract
aorta,
that
right?
blood. It's going to pump it, and it's going to exit through the
aorta.
aorta. That's going to have the highest velocity. That's your initial hose.
Yeah.
The aorta is going to have the highest velocity.
Velocity.
So, question for you. Your blood pressure is the highest in the arteries, and it goes to the blood into your legs. Why doesn't all of your blood pool in your feet?
Gravity.
Should pool in your feet because of gravity, but why doesn't it?
Oh, velocity.
Contract.
Why doesn't it
Contract.
You have muscles through your body. Your arteries and veins are contracting and relaxing, allowing movement. You have other muscles, so if you don't use these muscles, what happens to your blood?
Straight to
It pools. Okay, so that's why when you're sitting in an airplane, you're going to contract, you're going to do exercises sitting in your seat. You're going to get up and walk around. So you don't pool, you don't clog, because that pooling can cause clots. Which those clots can end up where? In your heart. That is a problem. Especially women. Young women, if you are on birth control, you need to pay attention to this. Okay? Things can happen. Blood clots are a real thing in young women. Okay? So, I'm going to tell you a fun personal story. My ex. Yes, same person. Horrible. She comes home one day and she says, "Man, my chest feels heavy. It doesn't feel right." I'm like, "Okay, let's take your blood pressure." Blood pressure is very elevated. She's a very, very tiny person. Okay, very athletic, tiny person. And her blood pressure was like 180 over like 120. I'm like, "Ooh,
Jesus.
yes, we're going to the hospital. We're going to get in the car. We're going to go nice and quickly." We get to the hospital. She's walking up. She's bubbly. She's talking to them. They think nothing's wrong. And the triage person is like, "Okay, let's take your blood pressure." Right, not the big deal. Takes her blood pressure. As he's taking the blood pressure, he's pushing the emergency button over and over and over again. All right, what is wrong with her?
having a heart attack.
She has a blood clot. Her blood clot has now entered into her lungs. Okay? This is a problem. Okay? No fault of her own. She was probably sitting a little too long today. She's on birth control. It's clotting. Okay? So, as she is walking in, this is the craziest scene I've ever seen in my life. They are literally stripping her naked as she's walking into the room, and they're putting her in a gurney to take her into a CT scan to do this. As they're doing that, they're injecting into blood thinners because they're figuring it out really quickly. Okay? You want to pay attention. So if you feel heavy on your chest and you're a woman, what do? Take blood pressure. If your blood pressure is elevated, you go to the hospital. Nice and quickly. You don't wait. You don't sleep. You sleep, you die. Okay? That is a real thing. All right. Another story. A few years ago, there was a really big snowstorm, and a student at the University of Washington died. Okay? She is walking across the Drumheller Fountain area, and she is found on the ground, and it looks like she has slipped and fell. Okay? And so what do paramedics immediately do? Treat for head trauma. We are trained to look for horses, not zebras. So we look for head trauma. We treat for falling. Shit, she slipped and fell. We got to get this. This is a big deal. News media. Student in critical condition slips and falls at Drumheller Fountain. She didn't even slip and fall. She was on birth control. She had her roommates reported that she didn't feel great. Her chest was heavy. She was walking across campus. Her blood pressure elevated, and what happened? She had a stroke and fell down. Okay, so if she had done that in her house, we're taking it off, and she's probably still alive. But because we're trained to look for the simplest explanation, which is most likely the correct one, in this case, unfortunately, she did not. UW, in fact, that day canceled classes. They'd never canceled classes on snow days before. They're like, oh, hell no. We had a student just died. Turns out the student died nothing because of the snow. Just bad luck. All right, so pay attention to those things. Those are really important. All right, today, I would love to see you guys this afternoon. If you want to come on the field trip, please do. We have plenty of space. Second, Saturday. All right. I am pulling out of the parking lot at 6:59. I do not care. All right, we are pulling out. So that means you are going to be here early. Whenever, get here early. Okay, come prepared. You're going to bring. So I sent out a list. Sunglasses, hat. Wear layered clothing. It's going to start out cool. It's going to get fairly warm. It's actually supposed to be a very pleasant day. Bring a rain jacket or windbreaker in case. Bring good shoes. We're going to be doing tide pooling and walking on beaches. Okay? You're also going to bring a bag lunch. Bring some water. I'll have some snacks and things with us as well. But and you're going to bring money for dinner, or bring a dinner with you, whatever you want to do. Our itinerary has been listed. Our biggest things, we cannot be late for the ferry.
Yeah.
That is it. I get you to the ferry, we're good. We don't make it to the ferry, we're screwed. Understood? We're leaving on time. Outside this building. Okay? So have everything you need. If you need to bring something, bring it. You're an adult, you got it figured out. Also, on that note, we're to return on about the 8 p.m. ferry. If you are getting a ride home, or if we need a carpool, we can figure that out too. But if your parents are going to be picking you up, if somebody's going to pick you up, please let them know shit does happen. Every once in a while, it takes longer to get home than we expect. Okay, so I expect us to be here about 9:30, probably 9:30 and 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's too long to be around.
If it's 10:30, I don't want a parent yelling at me that we're late. Oh God!
Sorry. So sorry.
The ferry broke down once while we were on.